Hi everyone. Today we have a very special guest with us here at Steer as we delve into the world of Wagyu, which is always quite intricate with lots of information and history. I'd like to welcome Wagyu Master, Kobe Wagyu Official Australian Inspector and Commissioner, and owner of Osawa Enterprises, one of Australia's largest importer and exporter of Wagyu, Mr. Kimi Osawa. Welcome.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too.
Thank you for the invitations.
My pleasure. Yeah. Very excited to have you.
I feel so excited.
Yes. So today we're going to touch about history of Kobe beef, why it's so different and special compared to other steaks in the world. But first, I'd like to get started with how you ended up and having a passion for Wagyu and starting up your own business.
Okay. To be honest, many years ago, I would say 30 years ago, I joined one of the agriculture company in Japan, and my first job was looking after all the livestock farmers. And I had a few Wagyu farmers, to be honest. But back then, I didn't know in the end, this is the business that I'm going to start back then. But after I came to Australia, it's more like immigrated, and my brother-in-law started talking about, "Oh, Kimi, do you know anything about Wagyu?" I said, "Yes, I used to look after Wagyu farmers." Then why don't we start together? That's how I started, but we tried to start a Wagyu farm actually in Australia. But that the agriculture business needs a lot of capital. We tried a lot of things, but it didn't work out. That's why then I started my own business, which was 24 years ago.
Wow.
I started in a spirit that kind of like a joint venture, but in the end I started everything by myself in Sydney. Then I'm here now. Then you said I'm the Wagyu master. I don't think I'm a Wagyu master, but that's I did a small step. I made a small decision back then. That's who I am.
Yes.
I want to be humble. I'm not really people saying that I'm Wagyu master.
Yes.
I feel no like that.
Yes. I get that. It's like me. People say, "Oh, Harold, you're a sommelier." I don't like to call myself a sommelier. I prefer the term wine waiter because we're offering a service to people, and at the end of the day, that's what we do. But great achievements. Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, indeed. I was really back then. I was really struggling. I did everything by myself.
Yes.
I didn't know in the end I had so many workers.
Yes.
I didn't expect that.
Yes.
I was really struggling to make ends meet.
Yes. No pain, no gain, they say.
No.
So I wanted to ask, because we started selling Kobe here just this year, and it's been going really well. In your opinion, what makes Kobe beef so special in terms of flavor and quality?
Okay. Now, a lot of people in Australia, when we talk about Wagyu beef, everyone thinks that Australian Wagyu. That it's more like, anybody, anywhere they can get it. But, everyone thinks that, in Australia, they think that Wagyu means Australian Wagyu. But actually, most of Australian Wagyu, and also Japanese Wagyu, which is mainly we call it A5 Japanese Wagyu, has a little bit, Tajima line, which is the original of the Kobe beef. And for example, when we talk about Australian Wagyu farmers, they always talk about our genetic line has a Tajima lines because the Tajima line which has the most intense marbling. For the actual Wagyu beef. That's why when farmers talk about the Wagyu beef, they always talk about Tajima line, bloodlines. But that's most of the Wagyu has a Tajima line, which is, where that the Tajima line originated from, which is Kobe beef. That's why, when it comes to the Kobe, Wagyu beef, original of Wagyu beef is Kobe beef, which has little bit, Kobe beef Tajima line genetic lines. When you talk about the Australian Wagyu as well.
Yes.
That's why that's how precious, Kobe beef is.
So it's the core of the best Wagyu in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Original. back then, like 100 years ago, Japanese government imported all the different European breed, whatever, try to make like a much bigger animals, make more meat, whatever. But in the end, they going back to the original of Japanese Wagyu beef, which is Kobe beef. That's why we started hold that genetic line. That's why most of like a popular Japanese Wagyu, which is like a Kagoshima, Hokkaido, or Miyazaki, it has tiny bit of a Kobe beef Tajima lines. That's how different, and they, Hyogo prefect, they stick to the only the Tajima lines. That's why it's so different, so precious.
So it's kind of like a product that's very strictly governed with a bit of history and tradition as well. Now I wanted to ask you this question because you looked after livestock before. In Australia, you have lots of land. It's close to the sea, mountains, so the cow are much more free range. They go around. But in Japan, there's less land. How do they make sure that the cattle is healthy, happy, and tender to result in the best beef?
I think the restrict all the animal movement, keep that all the tiny pen like a one or two, the cattle in one small pens, and to make sure, because that actually cost of one animal, one cattle is so expensive, so that they need to pay extra attention. What if something goes wrong one day, like the next morning, cattle is not breeding? That's sort of like they need to pay a lot of attention, especially like Kobe beef. I mean, so that's why like they need to sort of keep sort of more like a big investment. Like if you have a lot of investment, you can make some money from there, but this kind of that the agriculture business, they need to make like a big investment and a big return. So that's why they need to make smaller business. That's what I believe.
How about these myths, they call it, about feeding the cattle or massaging with sake and
that's
beer?
not really like the people, a lot of people saying like that, but that's kind of a BS. But before competitions, then they do a little bit. That's it's more like what they call it, experiment or promotion, whatever. Because all the people from other outside of Japan, they think like Kobe beef, they do Kobe cattle, they farmer give them a massage or whatever, feeding sake, whatever. But to be honest, I asked, I deal with some of the main Wagyu, the Kobe beef farmers. I asked the same question that, and they all said that's BS. That's what they said.
Well, it's good to have that clarification because there's so many, things out there that I hear when I do my research. And thank you for clarifying. And in terms of Kobe and the future, are there any trends coming up in terms of like popular cuts and pricing, or any challenges that the industry will face?
I think I want to say one thing, because Kobe beef originated, of course, they were not originated from Japan, and now people can get it in Australia as well. People can try Kobe beef steak here stays. Talking about all the people coming from overseas to Japan, and a lot of people are interested in Japanese Wagyu beef, which is like a Kobe beef they want to try at the teppanyaki style. Then I'm thinking, because Ocean people, they think Wagyu is meant to be Ocean Wagyu, but in Japan, they have a lot of choices. But all the people, they love Wagyu beef, Japanese barbecue style steak, whatever. A lot of people really like specializing, like a kind of like a Wagyu master, whatever. They more like dig into like much longer feeding Kobe beef, that sort of thing, because they don't focus on the actual marble score. It's more like actual flavor, taste of the actual meat. So that's why they always talk about Kobe beef, how many days on grain. So that's that's a sort of a trend.
Yes.
Even in Japan, they more focus on like not actually marbling. They want the Kobe beef and how many days on the feeding grains, whatever. So now people in Australia have a lot of choices when it comes to Wagyu beef.
Yes.
But I don't know, like 5 years, 10 years, whatever that long term may be.
Yes.
But people love Wagyu. It seems like the trend in Japan. So people know like at the moment everyone talking about marble score, high marble.
Yes.
But in the end, like the trend in Japan, people think about actual flavor. But Kobe beef is so different. It's not highly marbled, but the melting points are a lot lower. You can taste it. The flavor is different. So that's why one day, I don't know how long, but all the people, they love Wagyu beef going to Kobe beef.
Yes.
Much longer feeding Kobe beef.
Yes.
I've been asking our supplier farmers, can you please feeding much longer? But actually Kobe beef is so expensive.
Yes.
So I don't know, customer can afford it. But that's really I've been doing last 2 years.
Yes.
It's more like like a Kobe beef is really exclusive.
Yes.
But I want to go even further.
Yes.
Because one day, I don't know, 5-10 years, that the trend is going to be like that way.
Yes, interesting. Yeah, I think definitely customers' palate changes as well, and I think the more they learn about things, the more they want to try. And I think we have to adapt to the palate as well.
More people to try. They want. It's not only marble score. Marbling, high marble score it's more like for me like entry point. I know Wagyu, is it highly marble? That's really for me, or the customers, that's entry point.
Yes.
Then what's next? And even further, then it's the trend in Japan. People, want like actual flavor and what the true meaning of the Wagyu is all about. Although the people, they trying like, all the different kind of Wagyu brands, but not, all those people going to the Kobe beef. Actual flavor, not like an actual marble score. That's a trend. One day it is going to happen in Australia as well.
It is starting to happen because here at Steer, sometimes people say, "Oh, Harold, I want a steak. I want a Kobe Wagyu, but not too fatty. Which cut do you recommend?" So that's why we have a few different cuts on the menu. But speaking of flavor, there is one question that I'd like to ask you because you must try a lot of different cuts from different.
Yes, I always cut a tiny bit of all the different cuts, tender, chewy, whatever. That's why even before I, supplying to all the restaurant customer, online customer, I tried tiny bit, but the Kobe beef, you can tell the difference, the flavor.
Yes. How would you describe that different level of flavor? Is it the sweetness, the richness?
I can't really describe it. You should try it, but you can, Kobe beef is different. When you touch it, it's really. It's not BS, but you just melting the actual Kobe beef with the hand temperature. It's really like you can tell. And the meat color Kobe beef is a little bit darker. It's more like similar to Australian Wagyu beef. Australian Wagyu beef is a little bit darker, actual meat, but Kobe beef is same. So if you just cut a piece of steak, Kobe beef to Australian Wagyu, there's no huge difference. But those main Kagoshima, Miyazaki, Hokkaido, whatever, that's really white color, sort of like a more pinkish color, and a really intense marbling in it. But Kobe beef is a little bit different. Kobe beef, by the look of it, it's more like similar to the actually Australian Wagyu high-end Wagyu beef.
Like 9+.
Yes. But actually flavor is. You can tell the difference. It's like what can I say? Australian Wagyu has a little bit more like a little bit beefy,
meaty
flavor, but Kobe beef is a little bit different. It doesn't have that kind of flavor.
Yeah.
You know, that's the really origin of all the Japanese Wagyu beef all about.
I always tell my guests, if you come to here, if you like to have a dinner, have Australian Wagyu, but if you want to have an experience, a feeling, a moment, go for Kobe A5.
You should be please promote, because this is like a really cornerstone. I want more customers to try. Not every day.
Yes.
Whatever the special occasion, I want to try tiny bit of Kobe beef. Then they understand what is Wagyu is all about. I love Australian Wagyu, but I want everybody, whatever the special occasion, they want to try. They don't need to fly to Japan, but here, customers, your customers or whoever can, come here, try tiny bit of Kobe beef. They should.
Yes.
Because really, I can't really express everything. They need to try first.
Yes.
Then they can tell that so much difference. Most of the Australian Wagyu, some of the Japanese Wagyu, and the Kobe beef. Anybody can tell the difference.
Yes.
I guarantee you.
Yeah. Such a prestigious product, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to offer it here at Stia, and thank you for coming today as well.
Thank you so much for that. We will work together, and I really want to, everybody, to try the, Kobe beef in Australia, because I'm really proud of being the, the boss of Kobe Beef Association in Australia.
Yes.
I can't really, express enough.
Yes.
I already want to work with Steers from now on.
So together we'll reveal the elegance and luxury of Kobe beef to Melbourne. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
We can work together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Kimi. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, thank you.